Hey y'all, welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and it's time to wrap up Noir November. Now, that being said, I read a ton of books. I think I read something like 14 books centering Black characters, written by Black authors. And if I listened to them via audio, you know that they had Black narrators. Now, I had a time. Wish I would have caught it on film, but can't win them all. I read everything from fantasy to sci-fi, romance to retelling. I covered the gambit. I got my novella picking, my new to me author, and my new in 2025. There are certain categories that I did not read, such as classic and nonfiction. I did try a nonfiction, but it just didn't work out for me. That being said, let's just go ahead and jump into the first book that I read for the month, which is going to be Bones at the Crossroads by Ladarian Williams. This is a sequel, so I won't talk about it too much. The first in the book series was The Blood at the Root, which I read last year. This sequel, perfection. Literal perfection for me. Let me tell you, I had the best time. The narrator, I believe his name is Jason Hall, Chef's Kiss, and he narrated the first book. I have not heard any other books by them, so I think that this series is the only thing that they have narrated, and when I tell you, they do it to perfection. This book was so good to me. I cried 3 times. I cried thrice. Y'all, I cried almost 10 seconds or however long into the book when the gospel song started to play and recalling what had happened with the grandmother at the end of book 1. I was in my kitchen wiping the counter down, like sobbing. Like, I then had to just stop and let the spirit move me. That is how the book started off. Like, it gave me chills to say, okay, Ladarian did not come to play. And if this is how he's coming at the beginning, let me just buckle up. Let me just get ready. Maybe I wasn't ready. I cried again when we had a moment with his uncle. His uncle is John Henry. And if you know who John Henry is from the lore, John Henry is the man that went against the machine. He was, he had a hammer. And I loved how Ladarian did this particular folklore and the fact that he brought it into a magical place. Mama Oda has imbued this hammer with magic so that John Henry never gets tired. He can always beat the machine. And so, like, a little bit about John Henry if you know your cultural folklore reference. But, like, seeing him in this storyline and what he went through, this is a man who has experienced a lot in life. And he is still on this earth, and he is trying to pass things down and share his knowledge with his great nephew. And I loved when his great nephew was able to pour back into him and just being able to see. Now, again, he was very suspicious of him, but what made me cry is when he was telling his story about what all he has lost. Because if you have been on this earth for 100 years and or more, you have lost a lot. You have lost family members, you have lost friends, you have seen the loss of your culture, you have seen the loss of what Black people have experienced. And so seeing him being able to engage, Malik being able to still sit with one of his elders and learn so much, but also, like I said, give something back. Sobbing just thinking about it. This book is rich, like I said, in culture. It is rich in friendship. You get to see that there are some trying times that Malik goes through, and I want Ladarian to listen to me clearly. This baby need a break. This baby has done and ran the race, and he is tired. I am glad that he's getting a little bit of reprieve as we end the book, because the way in which he took hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, baby, I am tired. Let the boy rest. But I fear Ladarian is going to stay on his bumper. Like, he is going to give him the blues in book 3. And quite frankly, I will be there for it. After that, I did my moon reading vlog. So I read Beast by Sky Moon, and this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling done urban, and I really enjoyed it. If you want to see my in-depth thoughts about this book and the other I read for the moon vlog, I'm going to go ahead and link it in the cards. But this one was so good to me. This was my first Sky Moon, and I really liked how she wrote this in the true fashion where you start to, like, if you're a Disney fan, you're like, oh, that's Cogsworth. Oh, that's Lumiere. Now, what I really enjoyed was seeing Reagan give off those Belle vibes. She was a librarian. She loved the kiddos. Getting to see how Gaston was Gabriel. Like, this just made me feel nostalgic, but make it vibrant and fresh and new. Like, this had our male main character Asim. He was an island boy, and I loved getting to see him have his hard exterior and understanding what he went through, but starting to, like, take very, very good interest and very, very good care of Reagan, to where it gave her that found family aspects. There was betrayal in here, and I just, if you, like I said, if you are a Beauty and the Beast fan, I would encourage you to pick this up. I will be reading more from Sky Moon. I can't wait to see her at, I believe she's going to be at Petals and Prose. All in all, really enjoyed. I think I gave this a 4-star. Also in that reading vlog, I read To the Moon by Evelyn Latrice. This one was a football coming of age story where our main male character, I want to say his name is Javen. Yeah, Javen is in love with Luna, which is our FMC. Luna's twin brother has died at the beginning of this book, and Javen is like, okay, you and your siblings can come live with me because I know your mother is in a state where she can't be reached and she is of no help or use to you. You can live with me and my grandfather. And what I will say is these kids have a rough time, a rough go at it, and they really depend on each other and have that found family. Like, they care for one another. And Javen and Luna kind of act as though they are the parents to these kids, because Javen's grandfather, while he is there, he is not in the best health condition, and he does wind up passing away. So do know that there is a loss and grief that is a part of this book. But it also has really beautiful moments, being able to see how well they care for one another and how they all want each other to succeed. These kids come from the mud, and it's a big number of them, right? So you have Javen, who is the only child, but then you have Luna, and she has a little brother and a little sister, and then you add in another friend named Frenchie, and they all kind of come together and say, okay, well, if you need this, I got this, and I can put this to the pool. Like, French is good with cars, and he's able to bring in money to the house for that, and Javen is going places with football, and so he provides the house, and Luna comes into some money, and that kind of changes the story around for these kids, gives them a leg up, so that they can, make it out of their situation. However, Luna loses herself and being like the matriarch for her siblings and for everyone. And she is really honestly just a girl. Her and her sister have a combative relationship because Luna is her mother when her sister Solar just wants her to be her sister. And so it's very interesting to see these dynamics. I will tell you, I enjoyed the characters a lot, but I wasn't necessarily sold on the relationship between Javen and Luna. However, I do understand why certain things had to happen, right? They had to let each other go so they could grow and become the people that they needed to. However, my biggest gripe with that storyline is that the people that they dragged through their kind of situation and wind up being hurt at the end. I do know one person, the only one that's deserving, honestly, does get their own story. So I may go ahead and read this, but all in all, this is a powerful and impactful read. Like I said, be mindful there are some heavy topics in here. After that, I said, okay, well, I need a break. I don't need anything else heavy right now. I need to jump back into my fantasy bag. Bones at the Crossroads had me itching. And then I said, ho ho! I've got our vicious oath, y'all. I don't care what nobody says. Khadijah and Malachi, love them real bad. I will tell you, if you are a fan of like everything that's going on in the romanticy space and you want to say make it black, Any Davenport has you covered. She has a female dragon rider. You know, check that off. They want to say, oh, you know, female dragon riders are in Any Davenport said, come look, I got that. You want to get the night court battling with the day court, battling with the sun court. I got that. Check that. You want a shadow daddy? Oh, don't worry. Big shadow daddy energy over here. Check. I got that. Whatever you're looking for, and then I can sprinkle on a dash of some grills. I can sprinkle on a dash of, you know, touch her and you're out of there. I can sprinkle on whatever you need, because this had me hemmed up against the wall in a chokehold. I love their relationship, right? It started off with like a good one night stand. Khadijah was like, okay, well, I got that out of my system. I guess I'll go marry this man that my daddy want me to bridge together and make this power unit because of a prophecy. Y'all wasn't listening. She is the king maker. Y'all were reading the prophecy thinking that the man was the prize. No, baby. Khadijah is the prize. And it don't matter who she is with, because really she need to be with Malachi. That is where the king is going to be made. And so, like, the people listening to the prophecy are worried about the wrong things. The daddy says, hey, marry my daughter. I want wealth and riches. Joke's on you, my guy. The guy never intended to give you what you wanted. Now, shit kind of goes left at the wedding, and it was all by Malachi's hands. Now, Malachi is like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take you as captive, and you're going to live with me, and you're going to be used as my bait. Well, joke's on him, because you thought that you were going to bring in Khadijah, and you were going to use her to lure out your enemy. Baby, I'm going to bring you to your knees. Like, you're going to bring me into your home, and I'm going to rule the roost. I loved it. Again, there was high stakes. There was a lot going on. One of her friends got injured twice, and I'm like, girl, please don't come back into the fray. Like, if you get well and stay safe, like, maybe being in the war isn't for you. I am so glad that she made this a standalone, because so many times you find people want to make this a trilogy or a 5-part series. Any Davenport said, for what? For what? I can write another book. I'm going to have another bestseller. I'm going to give you another hit. I'm going to wrap it up here, so there's no question. King, queen, happily ever after, ride into the sunset and bliss. But I gave you the blues for a good 500 pages. You shouldn't want any more. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we want the story and we want it to wrap it up. We want our happily ever after and go on about our business. Now, after that, I said, okay, well, that's 500 pages. I'm going to need some more slim. Give me something good so I can be gone. I then decided to pick up Made Me Confess by Sherelle Green, which I tabbed. I had some really good times. Now, again, this series is the Naughty Season series, which is, again, centering around kink holidays. Now, I didn't quite figure out what the exact kink was that they were celebrating, but there was some celebration being done. I really enjoyed the fact that this was an older woman, younger man. This is little brother's best friend, which, again, when I put those two things together, they become my favorite. I just realized this as I was doing my last video, which was books I love censoring tropes that I hate. And I was like, oh, I unlocked the cheat code for brother's best friend. And it's when you put it with the older woman, we're good and golden. I really appreciate how, like, this man was persistent. And he was like, yeah, we deserve, like, we are going to be together. I've loved you for my entire life. And I wound up reading another book this month that was holiday season related that had the same things, which I'm going to talk about now. That is Gobbl'd. This is by Kimmy Farrell. And what's interesting is Sherelle Green and Kimmy Farrell are kind of writing buddies and partners. It's a group of like 4 or 5 of them that are BFFs in the writing game. And so like it makes a lot of sense how Gobbl'd and Make Me Confess was really like kismet and something I should have read for this month, because Gobbl'd, my favorite Thanksgiving read of 2025. When I tell you that she was having a time, like I really wanted more. I wanted more pages because I wanted our female main character to go back and beat up her brother's wife. Like when she pulled that knife out on her and said, "Oh, since you like pulling out knives," I said, well, Thanksgiving just got lit. Y'all, she is sent to the grocery store, as one always does. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, no grocery store in my town is open on Thanksgiving, because I was going to go out and get something, because I was like, this is clearly how you find your husband. This is how you find a man. According to the authors, you gotta go to the grocery store for something last minute on Thanksgiving. Plans were fooled, but not for this young lady, right? So she goes, she's at her house, she's getting into it with her brother's wife, and her mama's like, hey, if you want this Christmas gift that you asked me for, you gonna do right. Go to the grocery store and get these things. Now, the mama was funny. The mama in this book is hilarious. She like, I really don't need these things, but because I need you out of my house and I need you to get yourself together, leave. And so she leaves and she gets ready to go, but her next door neighbor, which is the brother's best friend, was like, hey, you need to go to the grocery store. I'm going to the grocery store. You can ride with me. And ride she did, baby, riding his face. Let me tell you. That's why the story is called Gobbl'd. He goes to the grocery store and he tells her, hey, I've been wanting you for so long and I'm a grown man now and I know you see that. Let's go ahead and get what you need from the grocery store and we can use the extra time. Now I was like, delicious. Loves it. Staying with the Thanksgiving thing, I'm going to tell you that I also read Spin About You by Brienne Denée, and I'm quickly realizing that Brienne Denée may just be my most read author this year. Spin About You was really, really good, and I understand why the girlies have been hyping this one up. I love that it is set in Colorado, I believe. I'm just making stuff up at this point. I want to say that they went to Colorado for like Friendsgiving, and this young man, Jared, comes, and he wasn't originally part of the friend group, but we are thankful for him because he comes in looking real fine, and her friend is extra over the top. She's a party planner extraordinaire. And so she's like, okay, well, everybody is going to do confessions, and we're going to drink, and we're going to be married. So our girl is making a confession about him, and I don't know if he overhears or not, but the message was received. He was like, okay, well, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. However, what happens out of town doesn't necessarily stay out of town, because when they come back to Kansas City, she bumps into him at the grocery store. And again, like I said, I don't understand how the people's grocery store are open, but not mine. But needless to say, he's like, okay, I let it slide. You didn't understand what the hint I was giving you. Let me let you know, you're going to come home with me and you're going to meet my mama. And that's going to be that. I thoroughly enjoyed Spin About You. Now, I also read Table for Three by C.M. Campbell. Now, this one is super spicy. It is an FFM. And it's supposed to be friends to lover. Now, here's my gotcha. I enjoyed the smut. Like, I enjoyed the erotic nature of this. However, it lost me in the friends to lovers part, because who friend was Honesty? Honesty honestly wasn't their friend. Like, she was the third party. And I appreciate how Sincere took, or is it Samir? I think it's Samir. Samir was like, okay, well, at Thanksgiving dinner, y'all wondering who this is. This is my woman. And yeah, my wife is also my woman. Like, we're a couple. We're a throuple. That's what it is. Like, I appreciate how he held it down and took care of them. I appreciate all the spicy scenes. But what I didn't appreciate was how, like, I didn't see any friendship. Like, I came in hoping that would be the foundation of their relationship. I think this story would have worked a lot more for me if it was like, we're married, but we're in a rocky place, or we're married, we've always, had a partner, we're looking for someone that's going to be for life. Like, if those were the situation where Honesty was a stranger and she wasn't considered their best friend, because again, that left plot holes for me. Like, how do we get here? What's the communication like? How believable is this? And so, like, again, if you're looking for good scenes that like get you hot and bothered, this will do it. If you're looking for more, I say no. And from there, I was like, okay, well then I'm just gonna stop what I'm reading because I don't want to read any more Thanksgiving. But I will tell you, I read, going back to fantasy, I said, well, let me read Huntsman by Naima Simone. Naima, come here, woman. This is a Snow White and the Huntsman retelling, and it was everything. Everything for me. Like, literally, when we talk about, like, putting writing in a book and saying, okay, this is this person in mind, this is Babeinlibrary coded. This, again, has the Disney retelling, which I'm a Disney girl. It is a dark romance with some dark kinks. Like, when I tell you there is a blood kink and blood play where she's cutting him and licking him and he asks for more, I said, Naima, you wrote this for me, huh? Like, I literally sent her a message for Thanksgiving saying, hey, I am so thankful for you in this book. Like, you don't understand how this is going to live rent free in my mind. Like, not only was the spice and the kink there, because baby, top tier, the storyline also hit. Like, the auntie was the Queen of Hearts, and she was, power hungry, and she had, like, told all of these lies about her niece, and never realizing that she made her niece the badass that she is. Like, she made sure that, like, hey, I'm gonna put you down, and I'm gonna keep my foot on your neck. Baby, I'm a dog. I'd shoot a foot off and leave you bleeding right where you stand. Like, woo! So good. So good. I loved seeing the seven. Like, so, like, the seven dwarves were her, like, badass female friends, and like they all had like special things, but they weren't invincible. And that's what this story really let me know. Like, there's nobody that is untouchable. Now, I will tell you, the queen in this situation, she was like, yeah, like, I see you. We're playing chess, not checkers, and I got the moves for you. Like, when she would leave that golden apple, I said, ooh, she strikes again. What's our counter move? Move and counter move. Like, that is where I read this in probably like 24 hours because I was just that enthralled. Like, this was one of those things I was like, yeah, I can't do nothing else. I'm putting up a Christmas tree and I'm like, just standing there like, oh damn, let me finish doing what I'm doing, because that is how good it was. Now, I read another dark book right after that. I wind up reading Work Husband by Octavia Grant. It's going to be a no for me, dog. Like, this is a thriller. Hear me out. This is a thriller that has a romantic suspense in it. And this is a situation where the premise sounds real, real good. But the thing that really grind my gears happened at the end, because let me let you know one thing, Octavia and everybody else that writes things, babies are off limit. Like, we would have been so good. Like, I'm down for, unhinged characters. I just told you I read The Huntsman where the FMC was unhinged as they come. Like, top blown off. Like, she is that type of unhinged. And so, like, to read The Work Husband, I was like, okay, well, yeah, unhinged vibes. I'm going to stay right there with the females being, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, we went a step too far. Like I said, babies are off limits. So let me tell you about this story, though. This story is where there's a woman, she is married. Now, her husband or fiance or whoever he is, they've been together for a minute, right? And so she like, yeah, I don't want to be with him no more. Like, he's boring. So, but she can't leave him yet because, again, they financially tied and legally tied. So she starts cheating with her coworker. Now, her coworker and her is giving her the best pipe down. Like, they are like having a time. Now, she realizes somehow it unfolds that her work husband actually has a gal, and her husband has been doing the do around town. And so she like, oh, well, everybody gotta go. When we say everybody, we didn't literally mean everybody. Some people can be spared. That's my thoughts there. Moving right along, I then was like, okay, well, I need something soft, sweet, cute, fluffy. I need something else. Something completely on the different side of the spectrum. That is when I picked up Beverly Jenkins' Destiny is a Brace. Now, this is the first in the Destiny series. I skipped this one thinking it was boring. Ha! Jokes on me. This was a 5-star fantastic read. Like this, every time I read a Beverly Jenkins, I'm like, oh, this may be my fave. No. Destiny's Embrace is my fave. I'm claiming it right now. Now, what I read next year by Beverly Jenkins may also become my fave. But today in 2025, this is perfection. I loved the found family aspect of this. There was a lot of found family this month. There was a lot of found family. I loved how we got to see like layers to our characters. Logan was like the man, and I will tell you that Mariah gave him the business. Like, she was like, yeah, I used to be a meek, quiet, tamed girl. Like, I used to be the one that my family could push around, and that I was believed to be a spinster. But when I come to California, I'm going to change my personality. I'm going to be the woman I've always wanted to be. And she did. She came in like, oh, you thought you were requesting a maid, someone to clean up your house. I'm going to clean it up, but in the way in which I like it. And I'm going to make you do all of the work. Like, not in terms of like, I'm going to make you get down and scrub the ground. I'm going to make you say, hey, buy this, fix that, get rid of this. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not playing. I mean business. And I was like, get the man together. Like, Beverly did like a teach me lesson. Like, Mariah comes, she's so pure and she's so sheltered. And to the point where I was like, excuse me? Like, there was a scene where he tried to get her to shut up by kissing her. And she was like, boom, straight. Like, she punched him dead in the face. And I said, yeah, more of that. Like, make me jealous. There's suitors coming around because she is gorgeous. And Logan is like, yeah, nah, I'm never going to settle down. She brought this man to his knees on multiple occasions, to the point where I was like, Beverly, your pen never misses. And this is proof. I loved this story. If you're not a historical romance girly, that's okay. Because the way in which she writes this, but it's very much of the times. And this came out in 2013. Like, so, like, you can tell Beverly understands what's going on and what the girls want. But she said, we've been doing this since the dawn of time. Like, women have been ruling the roost. They have been strong. They have been independent. They have been deserving of love. They have been feisty. Like, it ain't never been a day where we ain't been the ones or the twos. Y'all, Destiny's a Praise, fantastic. After that, I was like, okay, well, I need to pick up some street lit. Like, I need something else. That was great. It served its purpose. Now let's bring it all the way back and let's go into street lit. I decided to pick up Diamond Land by Tatiana Timmons, which is the Zoo Boys. Technically, it is book 2, but I count Street Chaos, which is the like prequel. I count that. Y'all, Diamond Land let me know there is nothing that I won't do to get the audiobooks. Like, I realized I had told myself I was not going to, I was going to cancel my subscription, and I did, until she dropped the next one. I said, well, guess I'm getting Audible again, because these audiobooks heighten the experience, and the experience is already top tier. Like, the experience is fantastic. In Diamond Land, we are dropped back into the story after Chevy is now incarcerated. Navia is threatened to lose her job. Zuri is captured. I'm really telling y'all a little bit too much, because y'all needed to read the book. Just know it's going down in the streets, and revenge is on the tip of their tongues. Now, I will tell you that Diamond Land did bring up some thug tears for me, because Granny? Oh, the letter? Oh, y'all didn't have to come up. And let me tell you, the way that Tatiana ends a book, every time she ends a book, my jaw be on the floor, because I'd be like, now why would you do that? Why would you do that? Now I gotta read book 3. Now I got to get it. And I have it. It probably will be read in December. It wasn't on by December TBR, but that's my business. I then said, okay, well, let me try something a little bit sci-fi. I read All Superheroes Need Photo Ops. She wrote things that I've never been interested in, like some kinks that I was like, yeah, I'm not really a dom sub girl. Like, if there's gonna be a dom, I want it to be the woman. But in this one, it worked. Like, you had such a powerful female character in Monica. I was worried, because Monica was like this badass war photographer, and I was like, now don't have me coming in here and she is going to become like, have a personality shift. And she didn't. She gave it to the male main character, who, Elizabeth, let me sit down and have a conversation with you, my dear. Yes, I can't even remember what his superhero name, because when you name this man Darius, I about fell out my chair. At this point, I'm just rambling, because I just had a time, like, being able to see our female main character, you know, fight through having PTSD, being able to see her not lose herself because she is with the man of her dreams, and she is still like, I want to have boots on the ground. I want to go out and I want to be in the action. I see that there is injustice being done, and I feel like I need to capture it. I love being able to see Darius engage with good and bad, and him war and say, hey, I just want to be neutral. And he is like, I actually hate everyone but her. Like, y'all think that I want to be a villain. Y'all think that I want to be a hero. I don't want to be none of that. I literally, if I'm going to be a hero, I'm going to be a hero for her and her only. If I'm going to be a villain, it's because you did something to my woman. And when his vengeance, when the man is hot, he's hot. Now, when he changes, he's like, y'all thought that was going to make me better? I'm worse now. I'm y'all biggest nightmare. And if y'all don't leave my woman alone, it's like that for you. And I was like, yes, more of this, please. I can't wait. Now, I have a feeling that the way that Elizabeth teased us with who should get the next story, I feel like she's going to play on our time, and it's not going to be him. We ain't going to see, that's going to be the last book we get. We know who that key is, and we know what she's doing for him, but I feel like she's going to drag it out. Now, that's going to make me mad, but I'm along for the ride. Wherever Elizabeth takes me, that's where I'm going. Last, but certainly not least, I ended the month with Equivalent Exchange. This is going to be a part of my 25 for 25 vlog, which should be coming soon. I am reading the remainder of my 25 for 25. So I don't want to give you too much. Just know that this blew me out the water. Like, I was very, very surprised. Like, this is one of those situations where you have something on your shelf and it is a gem and you just don't know it. Yes, I've read Christina C. Jones before, and I will tell you that I wasn't necessarily sure how I felt after that book. But after this one, I'm like, okay, I understand why the pen game is so strong. I understand why people love and adore you, because the way in which she wrote this book, I was like, I'm conflicted, but damn, that was good. Okay, so again, if you want to hear my thoughts on this, please come back for my 25 and 25 reading vlog. I don't want to spoil it, but I'll just say pleasantly surprised. That being said, do me a favor, leave me a scale emoji like for balance, or leave me a coin emoji for change and exchange. Leave me something, right? That being said, if you don't want to do any of that, tell me what your favorite book that you read in November was, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.